This meeting is being
All right, let me know if you see my screen.
Yes, I can see it.
Perfect. Well, welcome everybody to our meetup for today. This is our last meetup for the year, right, George?
Exactly, yes.
And I want to welcome everybody, as usual, who have joined us from probably all around the globe. We have about 21 of you right now, and we'll circulate the recording, the material, and everything after the presentation, as you may know. All the content we produce, we give you full permission to repurpose, recycle, rewrite using AI or any other ways, so you can leverage it for your own community. I would like to welcome everybody who's with us right now live. That includes Gabriella. We have BJ Ocampo, Blaine, Dan, Dave and Ehab, Emily, Gary, Giochino. Sorry if I butchered that. John, Drinkwater, welcome and thanks for the help. I have Cassandra, Martin. Hello, Martin. We have Molly, Nick, Umaru, Robert, Scott, Sheila, and Wes Bender. If I missed any names, I apologize. And I would love to hear where you're dialing from, just so the rest of the community also knows. Some of you are North America, and I'm pretty sure some of you are from other parts of the world, which is exciting. All right. We have Molly from Dallas, Blaine from Seattle, from Toronto, Ehab, Southern California, Florida, Dan, welcome, welcome. Awesome, awesome. Well, let's get started, you guys. The topic is really exciting, especially with what's going on, right? With all the craziness in AI. So just to kind of general introductions here, as usual, VBOUT's community has been growing. It's been in the making for about 10 years now. 2 years prior to launch, and then after that, we fully focus on being digital marketing meetup. So we discuss all things marketing, all the trends, things you need to know, not only pertaining to VBOUT, which is the parent company that's sponsoring this event, but also for general topics and trends. We do this once a month, 10 times a year, and we bring forth all the topics that we had to learn as a marketing SaaS company, so we can develop our products. And I think, from an expertise perspective, we work with thousands of digital agencies and around 4,000 businesses overall, SMBs, that are setting up their marketing. They're deploying the technology to do lead gen and so on. So we get firsthand on how the technology is reshaping those digital strategies. This is why we sort of bring forth the knowledge that we know is working for others. Now, if you are not part of our Facebook group, I recommend you join us. This is the link to our group. George will put it in the chat. And also our TikTok. If you follow us on TikTok to support our community, that's also an awesome deed. George, a quick mic check from my side. Can you hear me?
Yes, Richard. It's fine.
It's a bummer we can't broadcast to Facebook. We've been doing it for quite some time. But I guess it is what it is. Just trying to hear one last time. Too many mid-journey communities that have joined. Probably that's why. All right. It's all good. Coming back to my presentation. All right. So from the layout of the format of this, as usual, we will go through the intros, which is what I'm doing now. I'll dive into the presentation. Any questions, please drop them in the chat. I will answer. George will send those to me, or I will see them. And I want to keep it an engaging conversation overall. So we don't know everything, but we do a lot of homework on our side. So if you have any new ideas, things that you've seen on the market, please participate if you would like to. Okay, I'd love to hear your opinion, so it's not just a one-way conversation. All right, now in terms of what we do here at VBout, because some of you already know us, some of you are just here for the event, and welcome. We developed VBout about 10 years ago as a marketing technology platform, and we have about 14 plus tools within the system working together or independently. So for example, you can have landing pages and forms. You can have pop-ups to generate leads. We also have a full-on automated system that lets you automate and nurture the sequences. We have AI components and pretty much every single feature on VBout, and you can run the majority of your digital stack over the platform. We integrate very well. We're probably one of the first plugins on ChatGPT's plugins directory for email marketing, because you can literally just execute command line stuff, which gets sent to VBout. So for instance, you can say schedule these social media on Facebook, TikTok, or whatever, and the system will automatically do it via command prompt. You can create email campaigns as well directly from there, add contacts, and so on. I've been fascinated with the way some people are using it. They're using ChatGPT and command prompt as a soft CRM. So they will be adding people directly from ChatGPT to VBout. VBout will nurture the campaigns, and we take it from there. Now, if I am to just share 1 minute or 50-second intro to what VBout is, this is a quick video. So I'm going to go ahead and play it, but I don't know if I chose. Let me just reshare the screen and do it again, if you don't mind. There we go. I have to share sound. Okay. So I will go ahead and play it.
If you're marketing online, you should be using VBout. It's a platform to manage everything in one place. Email and nurture campaigns, visual automations, social media, landing pages, meeting scheduling, lead scoring, pipeline management, and campaign reporting. Make gorgeous emails from scratch or select from dozens of high-converting templates. Score the best leads and add them to automations to drive more conversions. Schedule and post to all your favorite social platforms with the best creative from Canva and Pixabay. Engage your fans directly and measure content performance in real time. Easily create beautiful, responsive landing pages and forms to capture leads and register people for webinars on Zoom or GoToMeeting. VBout combines everything your marketing and sales team needs in one place. If you're an agency, manage client accounts with custom plans and full white label capability. Marketing online has never been easier. Go to vbout.com and try it free today.
That's VBout in a nutshell, you guys. If you are a digital agency, you can thrive on VBout. If you're a small business with a small marketing unit and you want to execute campaigns, we created some awesome tools for you. I would encourage you to speak to our success manager to identify if we're the good fit, if we can save you money, and if you can leverage some of the awesome AI stuff we are putting together. We are in the process of creating an AI studio as well, so you can create automations over AI that's going to take your game to another level. So again, this is VBout, and George will drop in the chat an option for you to speak to one of our representatives to see if we're a good fit. And George, I'll leave you with the chat. And also, if you are already committed to a different platform, if you are using your own or you're not even using a technology for marketing, we are creating, or we're launching OpenBuild AI. It is the same AI studio that we're available in VBout, but it's a standalone product. So you can automate tedious tasks, personal, business, using its visual interface as well. So AI automation is one of the waves for next year, and some of the trends that you'll see. That's gonna literally let you leverage this. Just like email back in the days used to be manual, and then email automations came to play. Automation is available now, but I mean, AI is available, but AI automation is going to take it to another level. So our beta release will be hopefully end of this year, early the next. And you can sign up to our beta for a private invite on openbuild.ai. George as well will drop in the link in the chat for you so you can sign up. All right, George, how are we doing? Everything's good?
Yes, that's great.
Sweet. All right, so we can get started. And the topic of today is the trends. As usual, we start by reviewing the trends from last year. Some of this will continue. Some of it hasn't proved really that spot on, which I have a couple in mind. But the first thing that really exploded this year was AI content generation. And that kind of took all shapes and forms. Now in VBOT, we integrated an AI content generation for email, for SMS. Soon we'll have it for landing pages. But on the upside of things, or other side, there are tons of product like Jasper AI and others that are just specific to creating content at scale for blogging and for collateral and for branding and stuff like that. So we've seen the explosion of AI generation. And quite frankly, most people use generative AI today in that particular capacity, is to write things and content and presentations. And I'm pretty sure many of you would agree that that's the case, right? They haven't used generative AI to any, to go beyond that, to code check and stuff, which some of us might do already. It definitely saved a lot of time. For instance, I did this small podcast on creating presentations with AI. And it can take you literally about 10-15 minutes to put a presentation together. That would otherwise take you about 3 to 4 hours. Now, this particular presentation was not fully done with AI, but we use AI to proofread and do some cross-checking of facts and stuff like that. But if you have something basic, you want to have a presentation on the history of, I don't know, the Middle East conflict, you can literally just create that in a few short minutes. So that time saved, the time that AI has helped you gain, and it's worth a lot, in my opinion. As I mentioned, a lot of email copy you can write for your email marketing, for automation, or even directly inside your Gmail. There are plugins right now which you can install that helps you from your Gmail, for instance, write emails as you're composing your copy. In Viva, we added it to our social media, so you can create copy for social, and of course, to add your own brand and tone to it. Now, with AI, you can also, or AI content generation, you can do some really cool things to personalize the experience. And that's by using AI to identify certain types of intent, and based on which you can send specific type of copy. I don't believe that everything is fully autonomous and fully automated yet. As of today, I believe there are lots of elements of interference that we need to bring as marketers to the table. So this is the first trend. I think it was huge in terms of all of us here have used it. And please, if you disagree with me, drop in the chat if you haven't used AI content generation this year. I can almost guarantee you have, most of you have. The second trend that we predicted was using AI to generate, obviously, images. I've used it in many ways too, but I haven't really leveraged it fully in presentations and such, because the quality is not quite there. You probably can see errors and mistakes in some of those things that get generated. But a lot of platforms has exploded and started to integrate this into their suite of things. Now, the engines are evolving a lot. So authentic images are now very much possible, and you've seen them all over the web, that you can create realistic photos of things, not only cartoonish and just basic. You can literally create landscape, you can create animal photos, you can create illustrations, real humans as well. And you can even do edits on top of existing images. There are some tools where you can upload your own images. The machine learning will learn from your own different kind of facial expressions and such to generate different avatars of you. So it has come a long way. And, obviously, you know that you have Firefly, you have DALL-E 3 right now, which is the latest version of OpenAI. You have Midjourney, there's Stable Diffusion, and Google has done a lot as well in that aspect, notably to be able to generate things by fusing images together. This is where e-commerce comes into play. And they are using image recognition for future releases, which I'll talk about in the future trends. So a lot of tools also have launched to allow you to do things like shadows, reflections, and textures. But honestly, my attempts to use these never led me to the perfect image that I'm looking for. I still find myself going to Pixabay or open source, or even some of the paid options to like my membership with Canva, for example, to get stock photos that already exist. Any of you have used image generation in depth to create content and copy for collateral? Drop us in the chat. Where did you use image generation successfully in a business context, to be specific? Mina said use DALL-E. So you use images to put inside your collateral. How many of you have used images generated by AI for social media? So Dre said that he's used the blogging AI tool to create images. That's great. So the image banner for the blog, I'm assuming. Okay. And I think what matters is the context, because you're really describing, or you can even ask ChatGPT for the prompt to generate the image. I do that a lot. So if I can just, for example, parse these ideas and tell ChatGPT to generate a prompt that's going to work the best to generate an image from DALL-E. So it's quite nice what it can do. All right. Predictive marketing was huge this year. We've quadrupled the amount of people who've leveraged the predictive sending, and we've seen open rates go from 15 to 20 on average to surpass 30 and even get to 40% on the marketing side. So predictive was a huge success this year. Really excited about what this technology or where it's evolving. And we, to be specific, it's the time that the system learns from. This is not necessarily ChatGPT outsourced, but built internally as a model. So we can detect the best time to send out emails, SMS messages, and even execute automations per individual, per preference, and per best time to open. So it enhances the data processing. It increases your open rates and engagement overall on the grand scale of things. And it's all built internally. So it's quite interesting what you can do. Predictive marketing is definitely a thumbs up. If you haven't tried it on VBout and you are using our email suite, I highly encourage you, give it a shot. It takes about 10 campaigns to learn from your previous behavior, but we get things on, very accurate measures. All right, sentiment analysis. It has been out for quite some time, but now it's a lot easier to deploy. For example, we created models about 8 years ago to detect social media analysis by analyzing comments on the latest 20 posts. So we had to build things internally, and I was hashing out the actual algorithms and how we're gonna make the model learn with my team, and it wasn't perfect. It was great, but it wasn't perfect. But now it can be instantaneous, and obviously what used to be difficult 10 years ago, now it's a lot faster and easier to deploy with some of these available models. Be it Amazon, they have their own sentiment analysis. They can analyze photos and tell you what's going on. You can parse text and replies to ChatGPT's OpenAI and then get a response back. Because based on this, a lot of people used it to branch out in their automation and use it as a content tool for decision making. So it's quite interesting how sentiment analysis has evolved from this basic kind of happy face, smiley face, mad or sad or neutral, to now it can pretty much detect any possible sentiment, and mind you, in different languages as well. So sentiment analysis overall can work on different languages if properly implemented. Short form videos, still one of the highest driving forms of engagement, you guys. You put out a piece of content on TikTok and you get 200 views. You put a short on YouTube and you get, 300 views. I mean, these are new eyeballs to your content, the majority of which are probably new viewers that haven't seen you before. So if you imagine, back in the days, we had to collect emails to send out information or data or the content that we are putting in our newsletter. But now you can go out, you can get eyeballs on your short videos, and in return, you'll drive traffic for people to sign up and grab their email. So you added this new new world of exploration that people can find you organically, given that you have the proper content. And a lot of these tools out there have made it easier for you to create reels. For example, if you are using YouTube have an option underneath your video on mobile that lets you create a reel from existing video very easily. There are tools powered by AI right now. Notably, there's one here that I can probably mention that I'm trialing. You can upload any video and it can create short version of the video. So this was a 15-minute video. I uploaded it to Clap, and Clap generated shorter versions from clips that they thought could be good reels or good TikToks or whatever it may be. And you can see it zoomed out because I had my, I think 1980, 1020 or something like that. I forgot what my resolution was, but it did zoom out when the screen was quite far. It does caption overlay and stuff like that. So now AI has branched to that area, and I think I'm going a bit ahead, but this is one tool that I tried, and this one is Opus.Pro, another tool as well. And that's how I usually work, is I try to compare different products until I identify which ones work better, which output is best, and which one has the most efficient, I would say, a monthly spend on. All right, so short form videos, again, with Instagram alone having 2 billion monthly active views based on demand sage. And all the forms of short videos can enhance brand visibility, right? You start from nothing by using proper hashtags, proper lighting, overlaying some trending music, and leveraging topics that are, today's topics. You can get visibility to your brand. Obviously, better filters. Now you have smart filters. You can generate your own emojis on Facebook Reels, for example, by typing in command prompt. It's integrated into WhatsApp. And these smarter AI-powered filters are only here to stay. All right, marketing in the metaverse. Honestly, this area I didn't dive deep into it, but we predicted that the metaverse will allow businesses to design virtual worlds with product displays. If anybody can shed the light on this, please. I know Shopify introduced an augmented reality shopping feature. I think this is where you're going to see, or we have seen some changes to continue, is the ability to kind of visualize a product in your room, to visualize a shirt on you in different angles. That's a Google play that they're trying to push out, to see how the glasses and the makeup will change your form. So with that being said, that kind of augmented reality have been doing very well in e-commerce, but I haven't seen it in, I would say, much in the virtual reality world, as Zuckerberg has expected. Now, obviously, game advertising is always the case. It has been, to enhance engagement through ads inside games. And then attached to that is live e-commerce or live commerce. After COVID, a lot of people felt much more comfortable spending online. And a lot of apps kind of were launched around this period of time to allow live streamers and influencers to broadcast and sell directly as they're broadcasting live. Now, I know that this picked up a lot more in China. There were a lot of these apps that really blew up, and they did a significant yearly revenue just from shoppables. But you'll see it more this year as well to continue inside more apps, as we'll see in a second. Zero-party data is another area where you've seen a lot of kind of surveys, prompts for you to provide information, just because zero-party is just relying on you to provide the consent and to provide the data. So zero-party data also was a big trend this year. So it shifts the way that we collect information from our subscribers, and we use full consent from surveys, incentivized forms, and stuff like that. Not a lot to say on this. I haven't seen too much trends. I don't personally fill out surveys, and I'm always aware of the cookies, which are pretty annoying, quite frankly, that shows up on the bottom of the website. But sometimes I dig deep to understand what they're tracking. And honestly, I would say 90% of the web are using very similar technologies. So that's it for last year as a quick summary. Before I dive into next year's trends, let's revisit the comments real quick. So Ihab is asking if we have plans to do direct messages on IG, automation on IG, WhatsApp, and Messenger. Very possible. It's possible, Ihab. So I'm not going to make any promises, but we're trying to see if we can leverage AI Suite to automate responses based on a feed that you provide. So one of the things as a preview of what we're trying to build is the ability for you to deploy a chatbot. And the chatbot, you can feed it a source of data, kind of like what ChatGPT is doing now with their new release. But you'll be able to deploy that same bot on the platforms that allow you to do bots. So we're looking into it, and hopefully we have good news for you. All right. We have Ocampo saying that he tried down a few days in similar directions for a normal looking hand with 4 fingers and 1 thumb, still generating additional fingers. So, believe it or not, that's a great point for artists in general. And if you use any photo editing tools, when it comes to modifying hands, drawing hands, and even in virtual reality, it's a huge problem. It turned out that for some reason, hands are the most difficult parts of the body to emulate, to edit, to automate things on top of. And that is the same problem for AI right now. To create real looking fingers without problems, perfect looking fingers, it might not quite be there yet. So that's just a technology limitation, or the fact that our fingers are a lot more complex than we think they are. All right, so Mina's saying, I'm sorry, John said that you can create clips with Zoom and Zoom Shorts. Yes, that's a new release. Thank you, John. I used it once, but it wasn't quite, I lost how I created it. They didn't make it too easy for me. So I probably have to revisit it, but you can create shorts right now directly in Zoom, and you can upload them and use them for something. That's great, John. And I believe, taking this recording and creating short videos from it is content that many of you might not think about, but we do it a lot in VBout. So every time that we do these presentations, we actually cut them up and we create short videos, and then we post those short videos on TikTok and on Instagram and such. We drive eyeballs through hashtags, engagement, and even traffic. So these videos, they work. So taking those presentations, creating short, recording yourself, then slicing them up into 1 to 90 seconds short clips is what they're trying to do here at Zoom, or with Zoom. Mina saying there are lots of new models of text to 3D scene environments. Those models will really accelerate the move of creating the experience or worlds, which may bring in marketing the metaverse to a significant leap. I agree. There are some new tools and things. I think I might have a couple loaded for creating 3D, but the problem with 3D is that it requires a lot of computing power to create the 3D model of choice. This is why it hasn't really come too far yet, but next year it's going to be a thing. But expect a premium price for engines that create these 3D models for you. It just comes out to computing power. Even if you try to render a 3D object on your local computer right now, with everything closes, you will notice that your computer is going to take a hit and it's going to slow down. So thank you for sharing that. All right. Good points. I think I've answered most of the feedback here. So let's dive into 2024. And I always like to open the trend with email marketing. Now, I don't care what people say, email is here to stay. It's still one of the most utilized channel in marketing. Every single business that we work with, let's assume 95% are using email first as their channel of communication, paired with SMS, and then social media comes second, because they have the data. They can do better segmentation, they could track deeper, they could sell directly and easier. So with that being said, email is here to stay. Some of the trends that you will notice next year are things like overlapping content on things. It's just one of the trends that seem to have gotten some engagement, and a lot of design agencies and media outlets have been designing email with that. So we've noticed the trend heavily starting at the end of this year, especially now with the holidays. Bolder fonts and more support for fonts with recent updates on different browsers and different email clients. So you'll see better looking fonts. Unfortunately, all these years, support for pretty fonts on different browsers has always been a challenge for technologies like VBout. Even MailChimp and HubSpot, they might limit you on the types of fonts you can use when creating emails. This is getting a little bit better, fortunately, in this upcoming year. And that continues. So you can see drop shadows on buttons and a little more, more attractive kind of layouts and borders. And again, this comes down to the fact that a lot of these elements, they had nuances. They would work on Gmail, they would not work on Outlook, certain versions of Outlook, and so on. But I think we're seeing these issues getting slightly better next year. The minimal designs continue in email. Focusing on one CTA is ideal, unless your newsletter dictates to have more. Emails with one CTA or focus on less call to action, we've seen them drive better click-throughs and ultimately better conversions. Because in Viva, we can track conversions coming from email. We've seen a behavior where smaller emails drive conversions. And we looked at some of those sample emails that our e-commerce tracking layer has been able to kind of attribute back dollar amounts. And we've noticed those emails have very similar common trend. They're very simple. That's it. Some of these emails as well were actually just text email. They have no design and nothing to them, just plain text from the founder or from the brand owner or the influencer themselves. So this is the first trend. As you'll notice, some little bit enhanced typography in email. Layouts are minimalistic. Buttons and drop shadows are going to be better supported. Any questions on this? Anybody would like to add in terms of email trends? Oh, good. All right, so that's the first trend. And trust me, you'll see a lot more when it comes to email. But these are just from a design perspective. You're seeing this. I mean, I can add dynamic emails generated by AI based on the person. That's probably going to be, I would say, towards the end of this year through intermediary webhooks. The only problem with that is going to be why it's not here yet is because email processes millions of data points for an average set of, let's say, 50,000. So that processing of sending API calls to OpenAI or whatever engine you use spitting back the content that's highly personalized is going to come with a price tag, not only on your membership with the product of choice, but also on your OpenAI invoice, and also on whatever you're using to process these is going to take a hit. So with that being said, you haven't seen that full dynamic AI generated content at the newsletter scale. Maybe one-to-one, but not at the newsletter scale. All right. Adding to that, trend number 2 is AI-powered chat supports. And I would like to add marketing assistants. We are one of the first that launched marketing assistants in VBout to help you or to let you create command line and execute things directly from a chatbot. And the chatbot is already on VBout. We have, if you just connect your OpenAI key, you can literally just add things directly, create emails, create social posts. You can create tags, add and remove tags. You can see the history or activities on certain contacts. Or even get some basic analytics on campaigns. Anyway, so command prompt will be easier. And the beauty about it is you can let certain people just manage things from the chatbot or from ChatGPT directly without needing to log into the system like Viva, with some limitations, of course. Now, the AI-powered chatbot, you've seen them, and there are different kinds. One that you can easily just outsource all your documentation and knowledge base to, and the engine is going to learn from the data and answering accordingly. You have booking and reservations that could be done directly from the chatbot. The most notable ones that are going to change or help you a lot are going to be the bots that's going to help you book directly on your calendar. And we are building something like that in VBout. So you can connect your VBout calendar that you can have days and times and time slots like you do with Calendly. And we'll integrate that into a smart chatbot. So people on your website can see your availability and they can book you directly, and we will take care of the rest. Because it's available around the clock, it's a no-brainer, right? Now, we do offer different tiers, and I do recommend if you have human support, do not just get rid of the human support, because there are limits to what AI can do when it comes to answering questions. So you want to be able to escalate. You can provide the AI-powered chat support to everybody, and you can charge certain price tab for providing premium support, if this is your model, of course. So this is when it comes to the using chat support powered by AI and marketing assistance. Any questions on this? Anybody has started using command prompt marketing in their marketing campaigns? All good?
Seems all good. You can type, guys, if anyone has any
feedback,
answers
any
or
questions? Yeah.
yeah.
All right. AI generated visuals for websites and app designs. And this comes in multiple fold. I think on one hand, and I mentioned this earlier, I didn't see a wave of web design agencies leveraging AI generated content for collateral and website copy. But this is going to become a little bit better, or this adoption for these is going to happen more this year with these tools getting better. And believe it or not, there's whole industries built on top providing stock photos and stock videos for websites. So we mention it here because it's going to make a dent. And there's this huge thing around copyrights on these images. And can you prove that the image was generated through AI? And do you have the rights to use an image from AI on your website or not? So you're going to see a big controversy and dispute amongst the agency world around this topic. But the beauty about this is you can use AI itself to generate visuals that you can plug into your collateral. Furthermore, and this is some of the amazing stuff that you can use with image recognition, is you can create mock-ups on a piece of paper that translate these mock-ups directly using Vision and others to generate actual diagrams and even to write the code that could create these. So there are tons of examples like this. But right now you can take a snapshot of a website that you really like. Okay. Maybe we can do this together as a test. You guys want to do this as a test? All right, let's see a website. PTT. Okay, I'm just trying to take some random website mockup. Sample dashboard design. I'm gonna take a snapshot right here. Let's say this. I'm gonna copy the image. And let's try ChatGPT together right now, okay? And you can create an app that does that for you. But if I am to go back to my ChatGPT and the beauty about the new model they released that are all already stacks these for you. So I can say, can you analyze this design? It's gonna break it down step by step. So, you know, the the ability to just take these simple things and you're writing the notes and analyzing them is pretty much gone. Now, once it's done, I can say, can you create a basic code for a similar design? So this is a simple example. You can see, guys, it's just working and you can refine the command to generate the end result that you're looking for. But I started from here and now I can ultimately just have a full-on design dashboard with close enough result. And the more I can give it commands and follow, and I can literally just design an entire dashboard that's that I can use. And let's take this a step further. I will try the VBOUT landing page builder real quick to plug in that code in a simple interface. All right, so I'm gonna drop in a block. I'll go back to here. You can see I'm crazy. I use too much. I'm just gonna let it run for a second while we're doing that. Let's see how that can look like. And if it doesn't work, it's a trial. So please forgive me here. There you go. All right. So we literally just went from nothing to having, you know, a design, which is not bad. You can get more detailed. So let's see the original. This was the original, and this is the end result. Now, give me a thumbs up if you guys think this is cool in terms of, you know, visual designs and such. All right. Thank you, Dre, for the feedback and everybody else. Get creative with this, guys. This is a game changer for a lot of you to be able to create mockups on the go. And you'll see this trend this year. As a digital agency, as a designer, we're not saying that you're going to be out of jobs. What we're saying, because I get a lot of this question a lot, is that you're going to be able to create or go to market or produce things a lot faster than you did before. And there's a value to that you can put on your price tag. You can say, I can build your website in 30 days and deliver them in 15 by using this kind of mock-up process. All right, so you can use AI tools to expedite visual process. And by the way, this is baked into ChatGPT's engine in this case. There are probably tools that can do a better job. I don't know. But and I think I covered one tool last time. but they're based on templates. This one is mimicking exactly something that is already there. Now, I know DALL-E, Midjourney, and Firefly offer instant prototype visuals from text. So you can type in what you want and it can create that visual for you. And these tools streamline UX design by taking your thoughts and putting them on a piece of paper. All right. Cool. I'm probably going to do a couple of these, by the way, demos with you so you can see the power of this with me. All right. The next thing that you're going to see more, we started last year with avatars, and Synthesia has done a great job. They added, I forgot to NVIDIA, I think, or a new company just invested a large sum in their video production, sort of. But now you're going to be able, this year, coming year, you'll be able to create videos from your own still images, or for any still images for that matter, a lot more accurately. I've tried a few tools online. Honestly, they're not quite there yet. They're far from being there because the lips change. It's quite unnatural, but this is going to change overall with time. So AI video generation is something you'll see. It's not going to be cheap, but definitely affordable. And it's going to be time consuming. So you'll have to wait a little bit to produce a video. Not only they create video, but they create visuals on top of the video, which is something that as a video editor, you'd probably spend time getting the graphics and icons and emojis and the captions. So this will accelerate your production as well. And like I mentioned, Synthesia is just one of these. There are certainly other platforms on the market that you can leverage. There's also Runway ML in video that allow you to create images or videos from clips. So this is an example right now. Maybe I can pull up one for you. So this is a Runway ML. Let me see if it's... So you can create a text or describe, create a moving snapshot of a video of an artist drawing the painting by Pollock. Now, all of these, they work on credits, and every video is X amount of credits, so you have to navigate your way around them. But this is taking a prompt to generate a photo. There will be some that are, you can do image and description together. And video is another one that you can use. So if I am to take the same prompt and go to NVIDIA, to nvideo.io. Oops, sorry about that. And come back here and generate those videos. Iron explainer. Oof. This gets complicated. Let's keep it simple. All right, and some of these take time, which if I can't get it to generate in a couple of seconds, I'll move on to the next slide. But the key here is for you to understand that there's limitations for this technology. It's only getting better as it goes. It's going to be a little bit pricey on the video side. It won't be as accurate as you want it to be, but it's going to accelerate you going to market very quickly with videos. All right. So that was the second trend, is more AI-powered videos going to be deployed this year on social media, shorts, reels, and collaterals as well. So let's look at this together, you guys. It's a 4-second clip, so there's nothing too crazy here, but supposedly it's fully generated by AI. So this is the video. You can notice the unnatural progression of things and how it's a little bit hazy. So the quality is not 100% there, but it's doing a very decent job so far by creating some sort of illustration. It's almost like fully smudged. It's like he is the painting. This is the NVIDIA one for a quick compare. All right, this one is probably going to take some time. So let's move on. Once it produces, I'll come back to it. Any questions on this?
We have a question from Dave regarding AI chatbots.
Sure.
He's asking what tools have any one of you used that enables handoff from the AI chatbot to either a live chat or lead capture feature?
So we've been using Intercom to handle our live chat for support, but also to capture some leads. Honestly, they get pretty pricey. They're trying to kind of nickel and dime you on every feature. So we built our own bot generally right now just to handle support. And we're going to have one for potential lead gen, as I mentioned, so people can book you directly, answer questions, and insert that data into VBout. So I would say be on the lookout for VBout, but in terms of other existing bots, there are so many out there on the market. The question becomes is how integrated are they into the full stack of marketing of things? All right, AI-powered design studios. This is probably one of my favorite trends for the upcoming year. Canva released their design studio. It's a premium, $20 a month or per user. But it's great. You can design things very quickly. You can design slides, PowerPoint presentations. You can rewrite captions very quickly. You can resize images and add objects to images. And I really like it. It is a premium, so you're aware. The second one, which is free, you can use Adobe Express. Adobe Express have some free features already baked into it, but you get to a point where you probably need to pay as usual. So you can do video editing, photos. So if I do a photo right now, I can start from scratch. Let's say, I don't know, this. So I can start here. And the beauty is I can add things into the images on the go. So I can either describe things on the left, or I believe I can click on here. And I can, pardon me, too much speaking today. I can add things to the screen through command. So I can say add a little parachute here or something like that. Now, I don't recall exactly how I did it. I did do it, however. And you can see some of these are stock photos. And some of these might be different. So I can say generative fill, add a parachute to this image. And maybe it's not letting me because brush over. Okay, so I got a brush here and generate. So this is modifying existing image. I didn't see this tool in Canva, which could be possible, but I didn't play it. So you see right now there are parachutes, not perfect, but it does the job to make modifications to existing images. All right, so this is free. Canva has a free version, but most of their AI stuff seems to be on the premium tier side of things. Okay. All right, let's see the video.
In a world where
now.
art is often confined by the boundaries of tradition, one man dared to break free. This man was Jackson Pollock, a revolutionary.
All right, so what NVIDIA did, it added audio, a longer form video. You can see they have some combination of things coming from stock photos and images. And I believe if you pay, they remove the little caption on the back. So if you were waiting for this, here it is. You can edit specific portions of it. So let's say I don't like this particular scene. I can go ahead and parse a different command that allows me to change it and so on. So this is pretty cool. Slightly different than Runway because the other one is doing it from scratch, whereas this one is dispatching different existing stock photos together. All right. Going back to our presentation, I know I'll breeze through the rest. These design studios are going to allow you to create collaterals and logos and websites on the go very quickly. Too many tools out there available for you to do it, be it from Canva, be it from Adobe Express, be it from Designs.ai, and many others you're going to see out on the scene. So that's a trend for the year. AI automation is a huge area, which we talked about. And you can automate things from different places. Obviously, OpenBuild AI is the tool that I mentioned before, an AI studio in Viva. So you can automate things like on a daily basis. I want you to create a particular piece of inspirational content on any topic of choice. I want you to create an image, mash them together, and send this information to a third party, email it to my database of contacts. So you can do a whole bunch of things by patching all these logics together. Okay. Some of this available also via plugin browsers. I currently use Harpa.ai to create, to simplify my life by creating summary of things on web pages, creating summaries of videos and captions. So you'll see a lot of new breed of plugins that you're going to be leveraging in the browser so it can help you with your marketing. Some of these are LinkedIn specific, for example. So you can create LinkedIn invites personalized to a profile. This one is another one that is worth looking into. So the power of automation of browser plugins is going to explode this year. AI automation, to be specific. All right. Any questions on this? I know I have a question from Ihab about Google My Business. Not yet from Vbout, but we have plans to integrate. We did a lot of revamps recently. So we have Facebook groups, we have Reels, Stories, TikTok is now also supported. We have YouTube Shorts and videos. So that was kind of the most rated integrations, and Google My Business also remains. Sure. All right. Let's talk about shoppable ads, which already existed in Google, but that also is now available in TikTok. Now, why is even worth mentioning is because TikTok is extremely addictive to the point where, I mean, dopamine and impulse scrolling will spill into impulse buying. So I believe you're going to see a huge merge of shoppables directly from TikTok. You can buy directly from the screen without even leaving that live feed or that ad. And you better be ready for this because you're going to see all kinds of stuff being sold through shoppable ads on TikTok. And again, you're doing this without leaving the app, right? You're just right there, just like you scroll through Instagram right now. You find a shirt that you like, you can buy it because vendors upload their feed. The same can be done in TikTok soon, if not already out. Okay. So that's a trend for this year. If you're working with an e-commerce client, you certainly want to look into that because it's a new channel for them to sell and to tap into a community or user base that are literally just, I don't know what the average is, like 40 minutes or something on TikTok spent per day per user. And you can look up those stats. We have dynamic and interactive ads, kind of spills over from the previous one. So the ad itself will be custom tailored to specific target segments based on the most or the best performing ads in that particular segment. So that's work of Facebook. They're doing a lot in their area because they lost a big chunk of the revenue from ads. And Google as well are trying to focus on creating more dynamic aspect of their ads because they've been losing a lot to third parties. So things like colors, graphics, and even engaging icons on top of the ad itself are going to be part of what's coming up this year. So ads are on a trajectory to become more engaging without having to go outside the ad itself. Okay. All right, any questions on this? Dynamic ads and interactive content within the ads.
No questions, Richard.
Sweet. All right. Moving on to no visual audio content. Everybody here listen to a podcast of choice, and these podcasts can be available to you as audio, as video, or both. And you're going to see a rise on this. So many tools are invested in providing a studio for you to publish your podcasts across different platforms. AI is fully integrated. So not only the content can be generated through AI, which honestly, I don't know how far that can go, but the summaries and the titles and the images and a whole bunch of these. So you can create a full production for podcasts, authors, and that could be your service as an agency or as a business, because you can leverage those tools to open up this opportunity for people to kind of share their knowledge with the world through podcasts and other channels. And even Spotify have baked tools into their platform that allows you to create things that get syndicated into their search pretty much immediately. They give you RSS feeds, and you can take those RSS feeds, submit them to Apple and others, and now your podcast can syndicate across hundreds of millions, if not billions, of potential people searching for a topic. So just expect more explosion of non-visual content through podcast, but I believe some of these can be both. I know Andrew Huberman does a great job with this. He has his videos on YouTube, and then he has his audio only on not Shopify, Spotify.
Spotify.
Yeah, if I said Shopify before, I meant Spotify. All right. Then we have the rise of marketing GPTs. I mean, yesterday, if you guys have heard the release of GPTs by OpenAI, you can now create your own version of ChatGPT that does specific things around marketing. This is going to change a lot. Okay, the release has been very controversial, and I'm going to show you how that works. But although currently you can integrate only a few elements like web browsing, DALL-E, and document analysis, but eventually you'll be able to add actions, external actions, and APIs, and stack plugins on top of plugins. So I'm going to show you a little bit how that works. But in the marketing ecosystem and sales, you're going to see GPTs that are specific to that. So we're going to build one together if you guys are interested, so I can show you how easy it is. Because what OpenAI is doing is it's going to let you, as an author, eventually monetize of these. I don't know how yet, maybe through royalties or selling it direct, or maybe API revenue share. But you can start creating your own version of GPTs based on your preference. So this is going to be the rise of GPT, and it's going to eventually include things like text-to-speech, vision, and a whole lot more. Okay. AI is going to be integrated into the majority of the apps that you use already, one way or another. Okay. Most of them right now do content rewrite, summary, stuff like that, but you'll eventually see them do tasks on your behalf. All right, so let's go ahead and create a quick GPT together that does something for marketing. Do you guys want to do that? Who's still with me so far? Who wants to create a marketing GPT, which is the release from OpenAI yesterday? Awesome. Cool. Thank you, guys. Let's do it. So this is the new interface for, if you have it, I'm not sure if it's fully out for everybody. I already created a whole bunch of them. If you go to explore, you now have the ability to create your own GPT. Anybody can give me an idea and I can go ahead and implement it. Something around marketing or sales, anything. And I have a backup if you guys. So I can do something like cold sales outreach email based on simple prompt that is personalized to the person. All right, so create cold sales outreach emails based on simple prompts that is personalized to the person. LinkedIn profile. All right, so let's see what that can do. You pass up the prompt and then ChatGPT starts to create something here. And on the right side is what they call the playground. You can see kind of the basic default prompts. So it says write an email to a marketing director, compose a sale. These are predefined, but you can switch to configure to control these right here. Okay. So now it's asking you, what do you want to call it? They suggested a name, you can say no. Now I'm going to say this is good. Now it's going to create an icon for you. So you can see how it's using its own technology to create more of its own technology. And I believe, this is very genius from their end. Not only they're allowing this explosion of apps, but also they're allowing their engine to be more efficient, because now they know exactly on the back end of their, huge intelligence, let's just call it cluster, where to go and to get the data from, instead of having to kind of come down a ladder to get there, if that makes sense. Sorry about this. So I'm just going to say, yes, I like it. You can see on the right. It's going to ask me a couple of more prompts, and this is pretty much ready to go. I'm going to say cold outreach emails to book an appointment from a calendar. Sorry, I sometimes butcher here because I'm typing fast. Now it's thinking in the background, part of which is updating some of this content here. Let's do English, Spanish, because it's asking me what language to use. Make it friendly, relatable, and professional. That's it. These are very basics for this. All right, my GPT is almost done. Should I emphasize anything? I would say partnership, no sales pressure, and collaborative. All right. Now, here's the thing. It's not relying on any sources, but I can have my own PDF, let's say, if I have my own techniques and examples of emails that I know these are high converting sales letters, I can upload them here and have that also feed that engine. This is how you're making the GPT more proprietary to you as the author. You can also go beyond to create actions. So I can probably, right here, add an action to connect this to VBout, or to connect it to a third-party endpoint that writes this email and sends it out, maybe even to your Gmail for that matter. So these actions, you need to know how to use them. Allows you to, add those different parameters, engage externally with some of these apps, and then return data back to the engine itself. Again, this takes some engineering to do, but overall, it's available. And I noticed some of these questions that it's asking me are actually, it's longer or shorter based on the type of GPT. This one is asking me more questions than usual. Suggest the link to the calendar. Be direct about the booking. Sorry, I'm trying to get this to release. Otherwise, I have my OCD will not be able to sleep. And I like the fact that it's asking me questions. It's actually fine-tuning the plugin or the GPT itself. All right, so now it's asking me here. So I can, for a SaaS product, I can try these or I can just simply release it. So I will go ahead and release it. It gives me an option to do it public or private. And I confirm. So eventually this is a plugin that's going to be available for others to find in the marketplace. And they emphasize that I think marketplace is going to take precedence over plugins. So people will be able to find this Outreach Composer. And once they load it, you can see the default prompts and the behavior. If you have your own documents and API endpoints connected, it's going to feed the answer directly. So that's it. I just created a GPT on the go. And this is where you're going to see marketing as well. You're going to find a lot of GPTs or mini marketing GPTs being launched. Now, how fast is Google going to catch up to this? I don't know. But quite frankly, they've been lagging behind a lot. Bard has been unbearably useless to me. I use it sometimes, but there's a lot of catching up for them to do. All right, a couple more here for you guys. Multilingual marketing is a trend. A lot of companies or SaaS products are going to be offering multi-language for their service or product because it's easier right now to translate. And, obviously, the world has become smaller and smaller with everything that's going on. So with that being said, multilingual marketing, emails in different versions, translations are more accurate right now using these default engines. And maybe in this case, Google can take the lead. Not sure yet. But you really see this multilingual delivery of messages because of the ability to translate it cost-efficient ways. Not only that, your ads could be served in different languages. Your blogs can be delivered in different languages. And whereas before, only big enterprise were able to afford it. And I've worked with enterprise who have teams that translate things and make it available in limited languages. Now that's going to open a lot more opportunities. All right, so that's for the multilingual marketing. I'll move on to privacy and ethical marketing. This is really where a lot of companies are trying to figure stuff out. Obviously, a lot of the things that Google are doing, they're pushing some of their releases, is based around some of the data protection decisions that are coming up around the world. So everybody's trying to catch up with AI, which is hindering some releases, but I think that could be for the better. Because a lot of the brands are saying, okay, we want to be transparent, including OpenAI and Google, about how we make our machines learn and how we update our data and what do we do with this data and all these answers. So almost everybody is in agreement on this, at least. Now, some regulatory intervention underscores the importance of privacy, because there's always this kind of dance between, if you're too strict, you're going to hinder innovation, and if you're too loose, you're going to fall into a trap and you're going to have a lot of privacy issues. So this is where, you know, I think President Biden has done a good job on the recent executive order, which he, you know, he said, we want to nurture this technology, we want to provide funding for it, we want to help companies grow, but we're going to require a certain level of transparencies from the companies that are building the technologies. What are their safety standards? What are the protection measurements in place for the data? And obviously there's a lot more to that, but privacy and ethical marketing is one thing that your clients might be asking you about, or maybe your stakeholders or partners. You know, how is that article that you're writing is not going to impact our brand negatively? What if others are pushing the same content? What if it's offending somebody? So you just have to be very kind of aware of this, not too concerned yet, but just be aware that privacy in the world of generative AI and everything that's happening is a concern. It's a real concern. And some startups are trying to tackle that from a different perspective. So that's about it. You know, the way things are headed, you know, to kind of recap, we talked a bit about video is going to be on the rise this year. New email trends when it comes to designs. You'll have more studios, better studios to let you create those amazing looking graphics in no time. You're going to have the rise of many GPTs, especially for marketing and sales. AI automation is a huge thing. It's going to be coming up in your browser via plugins or via automation engines like OpenBuild and Vbout. You have privacy is top concerned for many. You have dynamic ads with more engaging content. You have short videos that are becoming, you know, still mainstream, but now TikTok is launching their own shoppable, so shopping directly from an ad. And I think maybe I missed one or two here.
Podcast?
And the podcast format, yes. So no video type releases. Right, I think I got all of them, George.
Yes, exactly.
Sweet. All right, the AI avatars and the visuals. Yes, the AI generated visuals, along with the AI chatbots and assistants. Awesome. This is it, you guys. I know this has been a great year for many. This has been a defining years for others. I've seen startups launch, do a lot of success, but now they start to fade away because they relied on AI strictly as a wrapper and a basic technology. But just be aware of the releases, because this could make your life 10 times better, or it could hinder you. So don't define the progress, embrace it, adopt it. And I believe there's a lot of opportunities for all of us as marketers, sales leaders, business owners to improve and be a lot more efficient in what we do. So I would love to continue this conversation. Perhaps, you know, via a quick demo of Vbout, or you can just connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always available. And I want to thank everybody who keeps supporting this community by attending meetups, giving feedback, participating in our group, and simply being an awesome family member in Vbout. Thank you all for this awesome year. We'll have our partners meeting as usual this month and the next, because we have some big releases in December, but we won't have our marketing meetup in December. Stay on the lookout for other content though. Again, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate your time today, and have a wonderful end of the year. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you, Dre. Thank you,
Giorgino,
thank you so much for attending.
Gary, yes. Blaine.
Yeah.
Andreas.
Giorgino, yeah. Richard, just quickly, he has a study question. Is there any specific call provider to recommend?
Specific what?
Cold email provider.
Cold email provider.
Yes.
Cold email is a tough game. I can't suggest something right now, right off the bat. A lot of people might use Apollo to just do a Gmail Connect and do cold mailing. But we can talk. I'll give you my email. I know we've reached the top of the hour. So you can communicate with me. I'll see if I can send you some suggestions offline. Can't type the at here. There we
Is
go.
Expandy a tool?
All right. Yes, you will get the recording of this session along with the content, 100% Nader. Okay. Awesome. Cool. George, thank you. And thanks everybody else who joined us. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
And I'll see you in the upcoming meetup, hopefully the partner meeting. Take care, everyone.
See you in 2024.
All right. Bye-bye.